uniforms, clogs, even flip-flops may not be the best of choice if you're the last person at the grocery store, the bar, Irwin Motors, and you have a hike to your car. Reason being, if someone were to come up and engage you, are you wearing what you need to be wearing to get away as quickly as you can? If you're wearing stilettos, the answer is probably no, right? Not only are they uncomfortable, I would hate to have to run in them. Tight skirts, same thing. You're dressed to impress, but in a bind, it's going to inhibit you from doing what you need to do and getting wet. Try bringing a pair of sneakers or some sort of comfortable shoe to get you from where you are to where you need to be, especially if it's in the darker hours. While you're walking to your car, also have a plan, okay? So, if you leave work the same way every night and you know you have to walk around that corner and every night you walk around that corner and the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, do something about it, okay? What that means is bring a flashlight with you. If you're uncomfortable, make yourself comfortable. If you think there's a bad area in your trek home or in your trek to your car, make it better for yourself. A lot of times there are small flashlights that you can buy that go right on your keychain. It'll illuminate enough so that you can see around the corner, so that you can see if there's somebody hiding around the corner, so that you can see anybody ahead of you. So I'd recommend maybe getting a flashlight if that makes you feel better. Oh, sweet, and your bags have flashlights in them.
They all have flashlights now.
You're one step
They go on your keychain.
There you go. Very cool. I like that. Another thing that you could do is if there is somebody at the grocery store that, maybe it's just the guy that's putting the carriages away and he just doesn't have any carriages in your hand and you just don't know, it could be harmless. Or if you're walking home in the dark for whatever reason and somebody's coming at you, what you could do, what I would encourage you to do, is to make eye contact with that person, okay? Aggressors are less likely to engage in aggressive behavior if you're looking right at them. They're afraid that if something was to happen, you'd be able to identify them. So if someone's coming at you, look them right in the eye. Keep your head up, because as women, we tend to be very sensitive. We tend to be very shy. Someone's looking at us. We're going to put our head down. It's just our natural behavior. You don't want anyone staring at you. But if you're in the dark and you're going from point A to point B, whether it's home, whether it's from the grocery store to the car, whether it's from work to the car, look that person in the eye. Stare at them. It's not going to hurt you, but it is going to make them feel a little bit uncomfortable, which might actually be exactly what you need. Keep your eyes and ears open. Be very aware of your surroundings. What this means, ladies, is if you have to make that really important phone call to your son or your daughter or whomever, your husband, and let them know that you're going to be 5 minutes late, either do it while you're still in the store, while you're still at work, or when you're in your car already moving. Put those cell phones away for a minute. All right? Be very aware of your surroundings. Listen. If someone's coming up behind you or coming up on the side or in front of you, you're going to hear them. In the dark, you might, and depending on your eyesight, you might actually hear them before you see them. Depending on your hearing, you might see them before you hear them. So use all your senses and be very aware of your surroundings. It can only help you. Try and not carry too many things. If you have to make 2 trips to the car, maybe the first trip you can take your purse with you because it has everything that you need, and you can bring your car closer to wherever you need to be if you're alone and you feel uncomfortable. Instead of having all your bags, your gym bag, your purse, your beach bag, we're girls, we have like a bag for everything. So leave some of it behind if you can, or put it in a place where you can come back to get it when the situation is a little bit better, meaning you get to your car, you can pull it closer, you've already checked the area, there's no one around. You understand what I'm saying? If there's doubt, if there's any doubt about any situation, my advice to you is be super lazy, right? In a world where everything is so fast-paced and we're all very athletically oriented, we want to walk everywhere, we want to take the stairs instead of the elevator. I'm telling you to take the elevator, all right? If you're in a building, in an office building, I don't know if there's too many in Laconia, but I didn't know where a crowd was going to be from. So if you're in an office building, and you're alone and you're closing up, and you have the option of taking the stairs or the elevator, I'm saying be lazy. Take the elevator. Stand right in front of the door. That way, if somebody gets on the elevator and you don't feel comfortable, you can get off the elevator and take the next ride down. All right? And it's much safer than being in a staircase all alone. Change it up. If you have a routine, when you leave work, when you leave school, when you leave wherever you are, and you go to wherever you need to be, if you take the same route every single time, think about alternative ways that you can get there. Because predators, prowlers, etc., they crave monotony. They're going to watch you, and you're going to be a target, and they're going to do their homework. So if you take the same route every time, if you do the same thing, if you pull your ear twice before getting in your car, that person's going to know that if they want to attack you. So change it up. If you walk from Messer Street to Bisson Ave every day after work, try finding a different route. Go Messer Street to the Wow Trail instead of, there's a bunch of different ways that you can get from point A to point B. If you do the same thing every day, try and mix it up a little bit. Be fierce. Like I said before, women have a tendency to be super sensitive to other people's situations. It is ingrained in us. So when you're going from point A to point B, and someone stops and asks you for directions, if you don't feel comfortable and you are alone, keep moving. Say, I'll call 911, I'll have a police officer come give you directions if you need them. Or if they're saying, oh, my car broke down, my tire is flat, keep walking, tell them, I can call 911, I can call Irwin and have a tow, or whatever. Keep moving. Don't stop and engage in a conversation. A lot of times what's happening is they're waiting for an opportunity to scoop you up and do whatever they need to do. So don't give them that opportunity. Again, look them in the eye, say, you know what, I really can't help you. Have your cell phone out at that moment. Start dialing numbers, whether it's your husband, whether it's your son, whether it's 911. If you don't feel comfortable, there's a reason for that. I know in police training, they told us very early on, the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, there's a reason for it. So open your eyes, your ears, use your senses, and figure out what it is. Same goes for you guys. If you're on a run in the afternoon, I know I run the Wow Trail all the time, and I see people that I come across at work all the time, and every now and then I feel really uncomfortable, which brings me to my next point. If you are doing those sort of activities, tell somebody when you're going to leave, and give them an estimated time of when you're going to return. That way, if you're going for a half an hour run, and you don't come home 4 hours later, well, that person's going to know that some phone calls need to be made. Hey, Officer Cardinal left at 3:30. She said she'd be back around 4. She went on a half-mile run on the Wow Trail from Messer Street to Church Street. She's not home. Can someone go and find her? She was last wearing this. Even if it means leaving a note for somebody, if you're home alone and you're not expecting your kids for another hour and you got something to do, you're going to do an activity of some sort, hey, Johnny, Jimmy, Joe, whatever, should be home in an hour. If I'm not home when you get there, call somebody because I need help. Some things that I thought of, my mother does real estate, so she goes to really vacant houses all the time. And she came to me one day and she said, I really just don't feel comfortable. No one knows I'm a realtor. What if I show up at a house and there's someone inside the house and I don't know if they're supposed to be there and I'm all alone and I don't have service where I'm at? What do I do? So I said, well, why don't you get a thing of pepper spray? So there is pepper spray online that you can buy for you guys. She has it on her keychain. It's just a little pink tube. That way, if you are in a vacant area, pepper spray will at least, if you know how to use it. So if you get something, be familiar with how to use it. It could buy you that minute or two to get away with your running shoes on and your tight skirts in the closet, right? Another thing that I always do whenever I feel uncomfortable, these are just my car keys. Everyone laughs at me, it's just one key. This is all I can honestly handle to keep track of. I put it in my finger, that way if someone comes up to me, it's almost like carrying a knife. You make a fist, if someone were to come up to me, I can do anything with this. It's like holding a knife. So it's just another tool for you to keep yourself safe. And that's if you start hearing something out of the, out of the woods and you don't think that there should be anything in the woods, or if you're walking through that parking lot and all of a sudden the carriage guy starts following you, you think something easy to do would just to be put your keys in between your fingers. If you have more keys, you can put more keys in your fingers. If you have 50 million keys, you're going to probably need more fingers, but it'll at least, make you feel safer, and that way, if something does happen, you have a tool to help you get away. Again, the point is to get away. It's not to hurt anybody. It's not to do anything other than get you in a position to get away. If you do get to your car, a lot of times predators will wait for you to get in your car. And as women, we love to play on our phones. So we'll wait for you to get in your car. We're all nice and cozy because it's freezing cold out. It's warmer in our car. We're going to immediately pick up the phone. Don't do that. Start driving. Wait to make the phone calls later. If you don't feel comfortable in that dark parking lot alone, don't think that your car is going to make you any safer. It's not, you're home free. No, now you're alone in your car in a dark parking lot. You're still alone. So drive away.